It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. We're getting ready for our event, Tasting Older Ice Wines, on the 27th and 28th of November this year. And so what we're trying to do is taste which wines we should be trying, and also to give us some idea of what they're going to taste like. So I'm going to walk you through just quickly a few of the wines that we may or may not be tasting. Some for sure, some maybe not. First one I'm going to taste is the one on my far left. This is the wine that it's all in honor of. This is the 2009 Vidal Ice Wine, 100% estate grown. That means it was grown at Southbrook. Because it's 2009 and from Southbrook, it means that it's not only certified organic, but it's also certified biodynamic. We're pretty well sure that this is the world's first wild ferment biodynamic certified ice wine, which is a pretty neat thing to have. You can tell it's fairly pale in color. That means it's young, but it's still going to be quite rich. Honeysuckle and quince, all sorts of interesting tropical fruit flavors, which, to be honest, is the descriptor of the way I would normally describe Vidal. Absolutely delicious, even at this young age, though as it gets older, it's going to develop some complexity. How long is it going to last? Probably 10 or 12 years without any great worries. Certainly, we're finding that biodynamic wines seem to have longer legs than a lot of other wines do. Sweet, but on the back palate, there's that typical Vidal bitterness. You can tell by the way I'm continually having to swallow, it's got lots of acidity to balance off the sweetness. Neat wine, still a little on the simple side, absolutely delicious though. The next wine I'm going to try is the 2006 Cabernet Franc ice wine. This is a neat wine. It was the first Cabernet Franc that Southbrook ever did. Purchased in grapes, so it means that it's not organic, it's not biodynamic. Starting to go coppery colored. This was a gold medal winner in the International Wine Challenge, which is the biggest wine competition in the world. It's neat because even with the fact it's ice wine, I'm still tasting a little bit of that black currant that you tend to get out of the Cabernet varieties. A little bit more complex. Is it better? I'm not sure. It's different, and it's delicious. Still got that mark of acidity that's there, starting to broaden out, soften a little bit, becoming a little bit more complex. Interesting characters. I get a little bit of that Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon fruit, red strawberries. 2005 Vidal. Vidal is an interesting grape variety because it really doesn't get as much respect as it deserves. We like it both as a table wine. Our fresh this year was 100% Vidal. And in fact, years ago, Southbrook's White House wine, named after my parents' place across the road from the old farm, which was a famous White House, was 100% Vidal as well. Vidal has that interesting tropical fruit flavor, which I like right off the bat. The 2009 has got, but I also like it as it develops. We used to say that it's Vidal, older Vidal is like tropical fruit cocktail in a glass, and if it's a good one, you can actually taste that little bit of maraschino cherry. Do you remember everybody used to fight over who got the maraschino cherry? In older Southbrook Vidals, you can get that from, everybody gets their own little bit of cherry at the end. One of the wines that's still available, and we may well taste on the 27th and 28th, is the 2003 ice wine. It's still available from the LCBO, still tasting pretty good. The real treat right at the end, this is 1998 Riesling ice wine. You can see it's a much darker color, much browner. It's in a 200 ml bottle. A lot of people would ask, how long does Riesling ice wine last? Well, it certainly lasts 14 years. The smell and the color on this, it's all brown sugar. It's absolutely delicious. It's like almost a Cinnabon, one of those cinnamon buns that always smell better than they taste. Just absolutely loaded on the nose. On the back palate, It's incredibly concentrated. It's done nothing but gain concentration over time. If the 2009 is light, this is almost too heavy. 200 ml, we used to say that a 375 ml bottle of ice wine is plenty for 6 or 8 people. I'm going to say with something like this, which sadly isn't available for retail sale, but if you have some of this in your cellar, then a 200 ml bottle of this is certainly plenty for 8 people. It reminds me almost of a young Madeira. Not as much weight because the alcohol is significantly lower. I mean, on this, the alcohol content is 10.5%, which even for a white wine is incredibly low, but it's just packed with all sorts of brown sugar and spice flavors. It goes to me, that proves to me that really ice wine ages wonderfully well. It really works, and I think that on the ice wine weekend that we're going to be having coming up, you're going to have some interesting times. It's going to be an interesting thing to see. Now, we'll see you later, and I hope to see you over that weekend, and I hope you enjoyed what I've been talking about. Thank you very much.